I'm delivering a flag to Samantha Ratnam, leader of the Greens, because it's most important that everybody has a flag to celebrate Australia Day tomorrow. And I'm very sure that the Greens don't have a ready supply of Australian flags, so I think it's most important that the leader of the Greens has an Australian flag. Let's see if she's home. No answer. I don't think she is home. But anyway, Samantha, here's your flag. Happy Australia Day.
This Liberal MP's first time door knocking. Terrified someone might actually be behind the door, like the way that she just kind of, it's the meekest little knock. And she's like, oh, no one's home. Oh, run. With the, like, basically ding-dong ditch, chuck an Australian flag there.
She's like trick-or-treating with the Australian flag, or like leaving a bag of dog shit on Samantha Ratnam's. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Full credit to Samantha Ratnam, who quote tweeted this post from Bev saying, "Thanks, Bev, painful watch," which I think is very nicely done. Isn't this like a tradition that happens every year now? Conservatives just assume that the Greens don't have enough Australian flags. I mean, they're probably right. We've got some issues with the Australian flag and what it represents and waving it on Australia Day, but they then choose to deliver that to various Greens MPs ahead of the Jan 26th.
I mean, in so much as Conservatives love to pretend that things have been tradition for much longer than they have, sure.
Yes, true, yeah.
They did it last year, like I think trying to deliver Australian flags to Greens MPs' offices. They did it at Elizabeth Watson-Brown's office. Yeah, I guess just love triggering the libs.
God, it's so good. I'm guessing the Victorian Greens don't have a ready supply of Australian flags, so I tried to drop one off at their leader's office today. But first of all, like, I assume they're all on holidays. Like, why are you even in there at this point?
I know.
But she hashtag it, hashtag Happy Australia Day, hashtag Australian flag, hashtag Australia, hashtag Australia Day 26 Jan.
Yeah. I love browsing what was the hashtag? Australian flag. I love just, browsing that hashtag. Lots of good content on there.
Love it. Love to see it. I got to say, I spent my January 26th hanging out with my Aboriginal boyfriend, and having sex.
God, here we go.
Reconciliation in action.
Etc. Yeah, reparations,
Good stuff. Anyway, we spent it around your neck of the woods, sort of, Mullumbimby and the Northern Rivers, and a bit of the Gold Coast as well. And way more Australian flags than I would have expected in the Mullum area. We drove past one house.
Really?
It looked like they were selling merch. It looked like they'd fucking raided Coles for all the Australian merch in the store and whacked it out the front of their house. They were loving it.
I mean, people forget that it's not that long ago that Mullum was primarily like a rural, like it was like an agricultural town, a dairy kind of town.
Right.
And I think there are still some remnants of that who probably are like, fuck yes, I want to fly the Australian flag. I went and saw, quintessential emo band Hawthorne Heights last night, and the singer said, "Happy Australia Day," and the whole room cheered, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." I guess the emos aren't woke.
God damn. I mean, and I was talking about this with my boyfriend. When I see an Australian flag being waved or displayed or whatever, it is very hard in the current context, particularly in the wake of the referendum, to not read it as a fuck you, right?
Yeah.
I can believe in previous years it was much more about a level of ignorance, that, you're growing up with the whole nationalist propaganda, sort of fair enough. But these days it really feels much more like, look at it. Fucking look at it, you little woke soy boy cuck.
I think the exception is when I see people who clearly aren't Australian doing it.
Right.
Like visitors, tourists, maybe even sometimes like new migrants. Right. Yeah, I feel like that's the exception because
you think new migrants and people of colour aren't real Australians? That's interesting, Emerald.
Oh
wow.
God, okay, fine. God damn it.
Fucking got it.
Serious danger to Australia.